Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel General Hospital Official. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Cyrus struck again. On the hospital roof, Sonny spoke with Morgan. He mentioned that the last time he was up there, he required Morgan's assistance, and he would need it again. I told Christina that Michael would pull through. I am worried. Can you watch over your brother? Please help him, Sonny implored. Isaiah just walked through the door. Sonny praised Isaiah for caring for Michael. Isaiah said he had extensive burn injury experience and assured him that GH was doing all possible to save him. Isaiah inquired as to how Sonny was handling the stress. Sonny assured Isaiah that he would be all right and that, as a parent, his love for his children would carry him through anything. Drew told Carly in the hospital chapel that Michael was in the burn unit because of her, as she was the one who introduced Michael to Sonny, who was most likely the target of the explosion. How could you let this happen again? He asked. Carly told Drew, through tears, that her baby was upstairs in severe pain and battling for his life. She wondered if it was important to him. Drew claimed he was simply expressing the truth. He inquired whether she had any regrets about meeting Sonny. I know you love your son, but nothing that you did was about Michael, it was about doing what you wanted, Drew said afterwards. Carly warned Drew not to preach to her about selfishness after he had sex with Michael's wife in the nursery where his daughter plays. It wasn't like that, Drew claimed. She inquired whether he had even considered Michael, or if Willow's hero worship had gotten him so high that he couldn't stop himself. Don't pretend to understand, Drew instructed her. He stated that what he and Willow felt for one another was more genuine than what he and Carly had. If that was supposed to hurt me, it didn't, Carly remarked. She stated that he had intercourse with her daughter-in-law and the mother of her grandkids. Now I see you for who you really are, and you did me a huge favor when you dumped me, she said. Drew stated it was a good thing she felt that way, because he was much happier without her. Carly prayed alone. Sonny walked in and informed her that Michael had woken up, but he had been drugged again for discomfort. The physicians hoped to learn more shortly. Sonny stated that whoever orchestrated the blast was after him. Carly informed Sonny that Drew blamed her for bringing him into Michael's life. Sonny empathized with Carly's feelings because he, too, was meant to protect Michael. They both prayed he'd be fine. Carly observed that retrospect was always very apparent. Sonny claimed they were tormenting themselves. We're here, and we can't change the past, he stated. Sonny stated that despite all of their incorrect decisions in life, they did one thing correctly, they had children. Carly mentioned that she and Sonny needed to be unified since their strength would be Michael's strength as well. Sonny told her that they would confront it head-on as a family. Willow told Jocelyn in the hospital corridor that she didn't know the whole story and that Drew was helping her for a variety of reasons. As Joss followed Willow down the hall, she mentioned how Willow fell in love with each man who saved her. Just admit it. Joss informed her, in a year or two, you'll be on to your next hero. Willow stated that, despite how it appeared, she did love Michael. Joss told her that she didn't love Michael while having sex with his uncle in the nursery. How skeevy can you get? Joss scoffed. That is enough. Leave my daughter alone, Nina warned her as she approached. Joss stated that she only told the truth and asked Willow if there was anything she did not use Michael for. You're just like your mother, Nina warned. Okay. Thank you. Joss responded, I could say the same thing about Willow right now. She added that neither Nina nor Willow could tolerate being called out on their garbage, and that while they appear charming, they are lying liars who lie. Stay the hell away from my brother. Jocelyn told Willow before departing. Nina told Willow to disregard Joss because she was like her mother, and they both raged. Nina stunned Willow by informing her that Carly had dispatched Diane and a social worker to her apartment to take custody of Wiley and Amelia. Drew stepped out of the elevator just then, and Willow jumped into his arms. You need to help me. They have stolen my children. Willow cried. Nina showed Drew and Willow the court order. Drew claimed that Carly had pulled off his skull and that it was payback for their time together in D.C. Willow was startled to learn that Carly was seeking retribution through her children. Drew figured he could fight it in court next week. Willow was shocked that she and the children could be separated for so long. Nina informed her that there were no other options at the moment, but Drew had an idea. Drew stated that Willow and Michael were still legally married, and Willow had the legal ability to make decisions about Michael's healthcare. He pointed out that Sonny and Carly likely believed they were in charge, but they were not. Drew suggested that Willow deny Carly and Sonny access to Michael in order to reunite the children. "I would never do that," Willow insisted. She described Michael as a wonderful man who let her take the kids despite seeing the video of her with Drew. She did not want to repay him by keeping his family from him. Drew maintained that Willow was now up against Carly and Sonny, not Michael, and that Carly was furious with both of them and would not spare her. "This could be your only leverage to get Wiley and Amelia back," Drew told you. Joss ran into Brennan near the elevator and informed him on Michael. She thanked him for getting her to the hospital the night before. Brennan claimed he wanted to tell her something concerning Dex's stabbing. He said he could provide her the witness list from Rice Plaza on the day of the stabbing. He encouraged her to speak with the witnesses and piece together the scenario. At the PC Grill, Alexis told Rick that simply seeing him made her day worse. She urged him to do her a favor and eat somewhere. He was seeing a client and suggested Alexis depart instead. Rick sat down with Ava, who told him that she wasn't destitute, but she was paying mortgages on 2 business buildings and needed the divorce settlement. Rick claimed the only way she'd see a dime was if Alexis gave it to her. "Considering you helped get her disbarred, and Christina fell out of your window, killing her baby, I'd say the chances of her gifting you that money, and it would be a gift, are pretty slim," Rick told the audience. Ava suggested that Rick take advantage of his familiarity with Alexis by talking to her about it. Alexis and Diane met across the restaurant. They talked about Michael, and Alexis claimed Christina was really concerned about her brother. Diane noticed Martin at the bar and left to speak with him for a moment. While she was away, Rick joined Alexis. He assured her that Ava deserved the compensation, especially given the anguish and suffering she had undergone throughout her marriage to Nicholas. Alexis claimed it wasn't hers to offer, she was simply the trustee. Rick commented that even if Ava had her entire settlement back, Ace would never miss it. Alexis promised Rick that, despite her misgivings about Ace receiving the money, Ava would never see a cent of it. Rick stated that if it were someone else, Alexis would be singing a different song. "I would prefer you to leave now. I really like the food here, and looking at you is making me lose my appetite," Alexis said him. Martin met with Cyrus at the pub at his request and chastised him for failing to return his phone calls for weeks. Cyrus stated that GH was preventing him from seeing patients, and he felt that they needed him. Martin didn't see how he could help, but Cyrus assured him that if he couldn't get legal assistance, the Lord would intervene in his own way. Diane interrupted and wanted to speak with Martin regarding the Corinthos custody dispute, so Cyrus returned to work. Despite Michael's accident, Diane stated that unless told differently, she would continue to represent her client. Diane advised Martin counsel his client to avoid defeat by compromising. Martin was uncommitted and wanted to find Cyrus. Lucy introduced Sidwell to Bobby's and showcased the cuisine. Jen's ears perked up as she explained that it was named after Bobby Spencer. Lucy informed him how wonderful Bobby was as a nurse and community leader. Lucy and Jen sat down to dine, and she told him all about the mayor and how she was also a Spencer. "What do Port Charles and I need to know about our new resident?" Lucy inquired, and Sidwell chuckled. Sidwell informed Lucy that he had been with someone, but she utilized him for his inventory. Brennan informed Colette at the station that the WSB may be held partially responsible for the Corinthos disaster. He stated that a highly special weapon had been utilized, one that the WSB had designed years before. "It looked to me like WSB hardware before Anna had even finished describing the incident," she said. Colette understood the equipment was highly classified. Brennan stated that they needed to find out who wanted Sonny eliminated and had access to their weaponry. Colette inquired whether the device had anything to do with Brennan's request for satellite images of Rice Plaza, but he informed her that this was another project. Brennan revealed that Jocelyn had requested for his assistance in determining who stabbed Dex, and thanks to the footage, they now know who did it. Colette reminded him that they couldn't use it for a civilian case, but Brennan replied he could leave hints for Joss to figure out. Felicia took Maxie and Sasha out to lunch in the cafeteria. She admitted that it was sometimes difficult to separate from job, especially when she knew the patient. Like now, with Michael, Felicia explained. "Whatever happened to Michael?" Sasha asked. Felicia apologized, believing they would have already known. "There was a terrible accident last night in Sonny's penthouse. He's in the burn unit in critical condition," Felicia informed them. Sasha astonished Maxie and Felicia by leaping up and going to the ICU. Maxie attributed Sasha's out-of-proportion reaction to her pregnant hormones. Felicia said to her that dealing with hospice showed her that the biggest regret they had was not telling the people in their lives how much they loved them. Felicia didn't want a day to pass without her kid knowing how much she loved her. "Mom, I love you, too," Maxie said. Jocelyn approached Felicia and inquired what she saw when Dex was stabbed. Felicia retold the events but realized she was forgetting something. Felicia remembered Cyrus' Christmas bell stopped ringing at the time of Dex's stabbing as she heard the elevator ding. Jason sat with Michael in his hospital room and noticed him suffering. He asked the nurse to give him something to relieve his agony. She requested Jason to step outside, and he watched from the window. Jason spoke with Portia, who explained Michael's level of suffering and that the medication he was on would keep him drugged for several days. She told a distraught Jason that it was the best decision for Michael at the moment. Sasha cried as she grabbed her abdomen while watching Michael through the hospital room window. She inquired about Michael's well-being. Jason stated that the physicians were not sure. Sasha told Jason how Michael had stood by her while everyone else despised her, and how when she found out about Cody, he made time to console her even though his marriage was breaking apart. "He's such a good man," Sasha exclaimed. Jason claimed Michael was the finest. Jason offered Sasha a ride home because she was so distraught. At the nurse's station, Carly and Sonny discussed Michael's treatment choices with Portia and Isaiah. Willow went up and said that, as Michael's wife, she would be making the decisions, and that the physicians should only consult with her. Cyrus entered Michael's hospital room, dressed in scrubs. He assured him that his pain would soon end and that God was bringing Michael home. He prayed, then took out a syringe and inserted the 4-bag. Next time in General Hospital. Tracy instructs Cody on how to spend Drew's money. Laura believes Dante did the right thing by following Lulu to Prague. Carly goes back on her words with Willow. Isaiah and Lucas must make a decision, but regardless, Isaiah predicts Michael's death. General Hospital spoilers, previews, and teasers for the week beginning January 13, 2025. General Hospital spoilers, useful advice, Mama Bear strikes, and no more rose-colored glasses. General Hospital spoilers and updates hint to useful counsel, Mama Bear strikes, and no more rose-colored glasses. Rick Lansing receives favorable advice, Nina Reeves makes a Mama Bear strike, and Carly Spencer's rose-colored spectacles are no more. General Hospital spoilers, useful advice. Ava Jerome is turning heads with her lovely outfit as she enjoys an amazing dinner date with Rick. He is equally dapper, and the two find themselves in Café Sherry, Port Charles's hottest spot right now. Rick leans in, intrigued by Ava's words as she begs he find a way to use that to his advantage. Ava is still attempting to regain her inheritance from Nicholas Cassadine, but issues have emerged as someone has already acquired Windmere, resulting in a convoluted situation. And if Rick and Ava thought they had experienced mob-related problems in the past, the new inhabitant may potentially cause much more havoc. GH spoilers, Martin's confusion. Martin Gray is perplexed as someone accuses him of something, but the facts are unclear. He asks, "What does that have to do with me?" Is he pretending ignorance about a more serious issue, or is someone attempting to drag him into a situation he wants to avoid? His unease is apparent, reminiscent of when he was quietly urged to look into Valentine Cassadine's financial affairs. He obliged at the time, motivated by the desire to find Charlotte Cassadine, his grandniece. General Hospital spoilers, dangerous dealings. It appears Deja Vu is returning as Lucy Coe becomes involved with yet another dangerous man, only this time, she is blissfully clueless. Jen Sidwell is going to be more scary and brutal than Victor Cassadine was. Instead of playing the role of an undercover spy to extract secrets from a criminal, Lucy looks to be having a date with Sidwell at Bobby's. However, he is definitely on high alert, picking up on her probing questions about his life. With a trace of impatience, he asks what else she needs to know about him. GH spoilers, Mama Bear strikes. Nina charges into the hospital hallway, her protective instincts heightened like a ferocious mother bear. There, she discovers Jocelyn Jax and Willow Corinthos engaged in a tense standoff, their attitudes steely and ready for combat. Nina approaches Joss with an angry scowl, her voice low and threatening as she says, "Back off from my daughter." The tension is evident, as it is clear that Minnie Carly had just confronted Willow, and their quarrel was still hanging in the air. Earlier, Joss was furious with Willow for daring to appear on GH, especially after Willow had taken Michael Corinthos' children and had an affair with his uncle. General Hospital spoilers, no more rose-colored glasses. Carly is in a quiet corner of the hospital, her voice rising as she approaches Drew Quartermain. Her fury explodes as she chastises him for having personal moments with Nina's daughter while her own son is trapped in a blazing inferno. She sees right through his attempts to demonstrate concern for his nephew. The anguish and betrayal are engraved on her face as she exclaims that she has finally seen Drew for who he is. The idyllic vision she once had of him has crumbled, leaving her with a raw, unfiltered truth. GH spoilers, doctor's orders? Portia Robinson offers Jason Morgan some well-intentioned advice outside Michael's hospital room, stating, "That's absolutely the best thing for him right now." Inside, Jason was with his nephew, feeling an overwhelming urge to protect the young man he helped raise during Carly's struggle with postpartum depression. Portia undoubtedly believes Michael requires room to recuperate, which contradicts Jason's instinctual want to remain by his side. She issues doctor's instructions. With a disturbing string of suspected fatalities tied to digitalis in the hospital, Jason is determined to be nearby. He lost Sam McCall, and with Dex Heller facing a similar destiny, Jason is determined that Michael does not suffer the same awful result. General Hospital spoilers, Sasha receives bad news. Sasha Corbin finds herself in the bustling ambience of the Metro Court, but her little reprieve is cut short when she receives heartbreaking news. Her demeanor changes significantly, with a mix of shock, sorrow, and perplexity sweeping over her as she hurriedly inquires about Michael's fate. Someone close to her has clearly taken her out of the Quartermain kitchen for a soothing dinner with the intention of gently breaking the news. This person is obviously aware of the past between Sasha and Michael. With Nina at General Hospital, it's plausible that Felicia Scorpio is the one delivering this heartbreaking update. General Hospital summary for the week of January 6, 2025. Sidwell was the new owner of Windmere. Portia informed Lucas that Liz was suspended. Brennan chastised Colette for shooting at Valentine while she was only meant to be trailing him. Drew confessed his love for Willow in Washington, D.C. At General Hospital, Isaiah confronted Cyrus for claiming that the doctor was playing God. Brad alerted Isaiah about Cyrus' poor behavior. Portia informed Cyrus that he could no longer visit the hospital. Brennan used satellite imagery to see Cyrus stab Dex. Jocelyn was sifting through Dex's possessions when she discovered a gun and didn't notify Trina. Lucy made Sidwell feel comfortable, and as she left Windmere, he danced his way to the window, sipping champagne and gazing up at Port Charles. Not long after, a bomb went off in Sonny's penthouse, setting Michael on flames. Jason shoved Sonny into the hallway and instructed him to phone 911. He grabbed a blanket and laid Michael out. Jack and Carly were eating dinner when she overheard someone on the phone stating there was a fire on one of the top levels of Harborview Towers, which houses Sonny's apartment. Lois consoled Brooke Lynn, who was upset because she couldn't seem to conceive. Brooke Lynn had a baby when she was in her teens, and she was concerned that it was impacting her present fertility. Drew received a call from Nina, who told Willow that Michael had been burned in a tragic fire. Diane went to Nina's apartment with a court order ordering that Wiley and Amelia be removed from Willow. Meanwhile, Joss approached Willow at the hospital and verbally abused her. Drew raged at Carly, blaming her for Michael's position because he assumed Sonny was the aim, and Carly introduced Sonny into Michael's life. Felicia informed Maxie and Sasha that Michael was in the hospital. Isaiah told Sonny that the stress of Michael's position could be bad for his heart. Brennan handed Joss a list of witnesses who were in Rice Plaza when Dex was stabbed. Joss noticed Felicia on the list and questioned her. Felicia remembered that Cyrus' Christmas bell stopped ringing at the same time as the stabbing. Nina informed Willow that Diane had stolen Wiley and Amelia. Drew persuaded Willow to use her control over Michael's medical decisions to keep Sonny and Carly away from him. Cyrus crept into Michael's room and inserted a syringe into his fore. Cameron Matheson warns, do not donate to a GoFundMe in his name. Thousands of individuals have lost their homes in the wildfires that are presently ravaging the Los Angeles area, and General Hospital's Cameron Matheson, Drew, was one of the first soap stars to publicly mourn his loss. After uploading a tragic video of what remains of his family home, the actor spoke more about the tragedy and how they are dealing with it. However, Matheson returned to social media the next day to encourage supporters to exercise caution. Thank you so much everybody for the love and support that you've shown us and others right now, the actor said in an Instagram video. Please do not donate to a GoFundMe page using my images, face, or name, as we are not asking for money. Someone is trying to make money off of the photographs and videos I provided. It's not us. Please do not do this. I appreciate your support, but please be careful who you donate to. Thank you very much, everyone. In the midst of all this sadness and loss, it's inconceivable that someone would do anything like this to try to swindle money by exploiting nice and caring individuals. Especially because there are other acceptable locations for people to donate if they want to help in any way. Donations can be made to the California Fire Foundation, the American Red Cross, or the Los Angeles Fire Department Foundation to assist those affected by the Southern California wildfires. The Salvation Army and the California Community Foundation both take donations online. And these are just a few of the places appealing for help as they strive to provide aid and resources to those in need. Strange things people don't know about Nancy Lee Grahn. When it comes to General Hospital star Nancy Lee Grahn, there are plenty of fans who either like her or despise her. There is no in-between. Strange things everyone ignores about Nancy Lee Grahn. And it's not because of the character, Alexis Davis, she portrays on television, but because of everything she says off-screen, particularly on social media. Nancy is, without a doubt, one of the most polarizing actors on daytime television. That's because she's quite loud about her ideas, particularly in the realm of politics. And, while some other actors have allegedly been penalized for previous statements, it appears that the producers of General Hospital have managed to ignore some of Nancy's most controversial statements, particularly those concerning President-elect Donald Trump and the Republican Party. In fact, Nancy has promised to leave X, previously Twitter, permanently due to her dislike for Elon Musk and anything associated with the Republican Party. Every day, she blames Trump for something. What is really going on with Nancy Lee Grahn? Nancy speaks all of this in public, despite the fact that she may be alienating a large percentage of General Hospital fans who do not share her point of view. Not only that, but many people find much of what she says insulting. So far, Nancy Lee Grahn has not responded to the criticism she has received, but at this point, it is unlikely that she will. Can Nina and Sonny, two concerned parents, reach an agreement? Nina and Sonny reach an agreement on the upcoming episode of General Hospital. Meanwhile, Carly gives a warning, and Isaiah springs to action. In addition to Nina and Sonny's compromise, General Hospital teasers for Monday, January 13th show Kai and Trina having a close moment while Tracy and Stella catch up. The next episode of General Hospital features Nina and Sonny confronting each other. They get along better these days, but they don't spend much time together. That needs to alter now that his son Michael is fighting for his life after filing for divorce from her daughter Willow. Teasers advise that the ex-partners strike a compromise. Do the two take it upon themselves to de-escalate an already tense and acrimonious divorce? Do they decide to make a compromise on how to treat Wiley and Amelia? Or a different aspect of the divorce? Carly had already approached Drew with warnings and the big leap. In Monday's episode, Carly gives a warning. If she's moved on from Drew, maybe she sends the warning to Willow. She had no idea her son's marriage would crumble the way it did. She also has no information of Michael's extracurricular activities. Until she does, Willow will most likely continue to receive warnings. Meanwhile, Isaiah rushes into action. Given that Cyrus has just injected Digitalis into Michael's 4, Dr. Gannon will most likely go into hero mode to save his patient. He won't allow Michael suffer the same fate as Sam and Dex, right? Is Isaiah staying close to Michael because he believes he is a potential target? Is it simply luck that he is able to reach Michael in time? Close moments and catching up. Kai and Trina have fully moved past the adversaries phase of their relationship. They are currently on good terms and mutually supportive. So it's no surprise that Kai and Trina had a close moment on Monday. This link between the QB1 and the artist appears to be growing stronger. Where do the two go from here? Finally, one of my favorite GH friendships is Tracy and Stella's. There has been so much drama, angst, and death in Port Charles recently that there hasn't been much opportunity for PC residents to sit down with a buddy and simply talk. That appears to be what we can expect when Tracy and Stella catch up. They have not seen one another since 2024. Duo is now out. A popular duet has left General Hospital, at least for the time being. What's the most recent casting news at General Hospital? Find out if any popular stars from the past are returning, if any newcomers are joining the show as contract, recurring, or day players, and if any of your favorite actors or actresses are departing the ABC serial. As of January 13, 2025, James Patrick Stewart and Scarlett Fernandez, who play Valentine Cassadine and his daughter, Charlotte, have been removed from the serial opera. However, there is more to come. Expect to see the characters return this year as Anna works to free her former sweetheart from the mess he's gotten himself into. Carla Rhoda is back and gets more screen time as the wicked Jen Sidwell. Now that the guy has purchased Windmere, he will appear as the new villain in Port Charles. Mercedes Lopez Renard has been playing Colette Moreau. The WSB operator has been reporting to Jack and recently attempted to eliminate Valentine. Michael Corinthos awoke briefly when Jason Morgan was in the room, but Portia Robinson hurried in to sedate him immediately. She informs Jason that this is the greatest thing for him right now because Michael's anguish is too much to bear at this point. Drew Quartermain reminds Carly Spencer at General Hospital Chapel that she is the reason Michael is going through this because she insisted on bringing Sonny Corinthos into his life instead of leaving AJ Quartermain to raise him. Carly is astounded that Drew would go there given the circumstances, and the two continue to banter back and forth until Drew declares that what he has with Willow Corinthos outweighs everything he had with her. Carly expresses gratitude to him for ending their relationship, stating that he did her a favor. Speaking of Willow, Jocelyn Jacks continues to attack her estranged sister-in-law until Nina Reeves tells Carly's daughter to stop. Joss storms off, allowing Nina to move Willow to the side. Willow hopes to speak with Carly to settle things. After all, they were close once. However, Nina claims that time has gone. She then reveals that Carly had issued an order to take Wiley Corinthos, Amelia Corinthos, Diane Miller, and a social worker who had already come at the penthouse and taken the children away. Willow is stunned, as Drew fortunately exits an elevator in their proximity just as she learns the news. She rushes to him and begs him to assist her. Willow is freaking out, so the three escape into a room someplace in the hospital and discuss their alternatives. Her children need her right now, especially given what their father is going through. They discuss scheduling an emergency custody hearing, but it would take at least a week to coordinate, and Willow needs something done right away. Nonetheless, Drew devises an excellent strategy. Willow is legally liable for Michael's medical treatment because they are still married. Perhaps Willow should use this to persuade Carly to reconsider her actions. But Willow can't do it. Despite their disagreement, Michael is a wonderful man who is going through a difficult period and does not deserve this. With that stated, Drew reminds Willow that she is dealing with Carly and Sonny, not Michael. Sonny is seen praying on the hospital rooftop, begging Morgan Corinthos to look for his brother. Isaiah Gannon goes out and inquires about Sonny's condition. He reminds him that he must care for himself. Sonny appreciates it, thanked him for what he's done, and inquired about Michael's possibilities. The doctor reports that GH is trying their best. Sunny then meets Carly at the chapel, where she tells him what Drew said. Sunny feels responsible for what happened to Michael, and Carly observes that hindsight is 20/20 and always makes you question your actions. Sunny points out that, despite all of their mistakes, one thing they have done correctly is raise their children. Both agree that for Michael's sake, they must present a united front. In an effort to accomplish this, the two walk over to chat to Portia and Isaiah together. Carly is intrigued by their recommendations for long-term burn care centers, just as Nina, Willow, and Drew appear out of nowhere. Willow ends the conversation and tells the physicians that, as Michael's medical proxy, all of his care instructions must go through her and only her. Across town, Jen Sidwell accepts Lucy Coe's invitation to tour Port Charles, and because they are having lunch at Bobby's, she tells him a little about Bobby Spencer and the fact that Mayor Laura Collins was formerly a Spencer. Then Lucy digs a little deeper to learn about a potential romance in Sidwell's life, but he notes that his previous relationship made him nervous as she dipped into his inventory. Sidwell closes their date by thanking Lucy for all of the information she provided, which will undoubtedly help him settle to his new home. Colette Moreau walks into the office of Jack Brennan at the WSB Port Charles headquarters. Brennan informs her that the PCPD has asked for his assistance in Sunny's penthouse explosion case. The explosive device left no trace and resembled a product developed by the WSB. Colette wonders if anything was leaked, given the files around the device were classified. In either case, Brennan informs her that gathering additional information is of the utmost importance. The debate shifts to the tape from December 10th, the day of Dex Heller's stabbing. Colette warns Brennan that the WSB's footage cannot be utilized to investigate civilian matters. This is when Brennan says that the best they can do is leave a breadcrumb trail that points them in the correct way. Felicia Scorpio is having lunch with Maxie Jones and Sasha Corbin since work has been extremely stressful and she needed a pick-up. Felicia expresses her displeasure at having to watch what some patients are going through, citing Michael's accident as an example. Sasha is stunned and wonders what happened to him, so Felicia fills her in. Sasha leaves her lunch and hurries to GH. She is shown arriving at Michael's room and sobbing upon seeing him. Jason walks by and informs her of his condition. He is battling for his life, and the medical staff is unsure if he will survive. Jason offers to drive Sasha home because they both agree she is in no condition to drive. This leaves Michael entirely neglected by his loved ones. Let us now turn to Rick Lansing and Ava Jerome. They happen to be eating at the same restaurant as Alexis Davis and Diane Miller. Interestingly, Cyrus Renault works as a busboy there. Ava begs Rick to go talk to Alexis. After all, they were married once, and perhaps he can persuade her to return Ava's divorce settlement. Ava writes that, despite having money prior to her divorce from Nicholas Cassadine, she wanted to expand the gallery and thus purchased a new building without selling the previous one and carrying 2 business mortgages, which caused her financial problems. Regardless, she earned and deserved her divorce settlement. Meanwhile, Diane and Alexis discuss Michael's problem, while Cyrus busts tables nearby. Martin Gray enters the establishment after Cyrus summoned him. Cyrus is asking for aid to overturn Portia's restriction on him helping at the hospital. Martin is unsure whether he can do anything, and Diane interrupts the men's conversation. The two discuss the Corinthos divorce case. However, after they are finished, Martin walks back to his conversation with his brother, and Cyrus is gone. Meanwhile, Rick attempted to build a case for Ava with Alexis. After all, her divorce settlement only a fraction of the Cassadine estate's value, leaving little Ace Cassadine well off, but Alexis refused to bend. Back at the hospital, Brennan enters and discovers Jocelyn. He says he has something for her about Dex's case. Jocelyn mentions that she believed the WSB didn't preserve video footage, to which he responds that is right, but he does have a list of witnesses that a source at the PCPD gave him. Perhaps re-questioning them will help her figure out what's going on. Joss reviews the list, and Felicia notices the nurse's station and rushes over to speak with her and get things started. Felicia initially struggles, as Jocelyn attempts to reactivate her memory. After all, Felicia still has the nagging notion that she's missing something. As Joss and her recount the events of that day, Felicia had a flashback. She recalls Cyrus's bell ringing throughout the entire period, except for the seconds Dex was stabbed. Finally, toward the end of the show, Cyrus enters Michael's room, says a prayer over him and vows that he will not be in pain any longer. Cyrus injects Digitalis into Michael's bag. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.